Very good morning to all of you, all the students present here. I'm so glad to Uni-Italia, Miss Federica, to give us opportunity to interact with the IED Milan. Here today we are going to have a very interactive session with IED group head, Mr. Sugat Das. He is representing IED. And we have a student of architecture and a student of interior designer from our university, and there are other students from other part of his school in India. Before I request Mr. Sugat for starting his workshop of interaction, I would just like to give a, a very brief glimpse about what we are, what school we present, and after that I will request Ms. Federica to give his remark about it, and then we will further go on for the workshop. Can you all see my screen?
Yes, yes.
Sorry. Okay. Wait. Um, hmm. uh, just is my screen visible to all? School of Architecture?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll just take two minutes for presenting our school. We are a School of Architecture in Noida International University, one of the 12 schools. We are a school with the courses of architecture and interior designer. So this presentation of mine is going to give a little bit glimpse at what we are doing now. The USP of our school is basically three pillars. Is about industry-oriented curriculum. We always try to revise our curriculum with the industry orientation. We also have our student a very wide global exposure. We have a student from 27 countries, and at the same time, our students are also very much active in society outreach programs. We have a lot of done excellence in academics. I'm not going to read all the details here. From last 2 years in 1929 and 2019 and 2020, we have received one of the 10 most promising architecture institution of India. Here you can see myself interacting with the Prime Minister of Nepal. So our students have a great opportunity of interacting with the various professionals and leaders across the world. These are some of the interesting workshop and interactive sessions which we have done in the past in collaboration with the different agencies beyond academics. For example, here you can see this is the workshop which we did in Madurai for developing of Madurai smart cities. You can see in the backdrop the Meenakshi temple and the proposal which we presented even to Commissioner of Madurai city. Here you can see our students are in the office of Commissioner of Madurai. This is the Prime Minister of Nepal. Here is of course, this is, I think Ms. Federica can connect. This is the diplomat from Italian embassy, the friend from embassy of Italy in Delhi. They have visited to our campus. We had a very, very useful interaction. That I'm talking before lockdown, before COVID. Here, our students are one of the very famous architects from Barcelona. This is the collaboration of workshop which we did with the German embassy. So these kind of interaction sessions for exposure, we keep on doing beyond academics also. Again, in continuation, this is again another workshop with the German embassy. This is our work was exhibited in New York. This is me who is exhibiting our students' work in New York at Consulate of India in New York. This is the workshop which we did, a very interesting workshop with the Sulabh International organization with Dr. Vindeshwar Pathak, who is one of the iconic personality about Swachh Bharat initiative, which is right now. But before that also, it the Sulabh Shauchalaya Museum is one of the most promising name in Indian society upliftment. These are some of the Jonasa workshop which we keep on doing. Again, the glimpse also here. We have the ambassador of Mexico. She visited our university, one of the very iconic name in the diplomatic circle of India. Our student presenting souvenir to Prime Minister Nepal. Here, the very famous architect from America, he visited to our campus. So these are some of the initiatives which we keep on doing to engage our student with the globe. Here we have the exhibition on Russian architecture, the inauguration by Russian embassy official, our student at Harvard University with the professor of Harvard School, Dr. Rahul Mehrotra, me speaking in Columbia University, again the ambassador of Mexico at our school. This is again the delegation which I led to America before lockdown with the Indian architect. I'm sure that Mr. Sugat might can connect because Hafiz Contractor, he is a Mumbai-based architect, one of the very iconic name in Indian architecture fraternity. So we visited to New York and we had the exhibition of our student work. You can see here, this was published in the news also. So, and with the news, this is the poster of our student work. So these are the exhibition. It was very well covered in New York. So, and this is the lecture in Columbia University in New York. So these are some of the glimpses which have happened in the past about our media coverage about our activities in campus. Some of the collaboration which we have done recently, we did a collaboration with Ministry of Culture in Taiwan, Ural Federal University in Yekaterinburg, Russia, with the UN Habitat. Our students are quietly well placed in most of the good schools, ranging from Hafiz Contractor to DMRC to RSP. I mean, these are some of the developers are there. So these some of the futuristic plan which we are doing. So these are some just glimpse before I hand over to Miss Federica to Miss Federica to speak about. So before that, I took opportunity to at least show them because that's what we are doing that. So with this, I will stop myself and I'll request Miss Federica to give us a welcome note. And this is our beginning of our relation with Uni-Italia in India. So over to you, Ms. Federica. After that, I will request Ms. Sugat to take. Ms. Federica.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much, Rajendra. First of all, I would like to thank you for hosting this series of event on higher education in Italy. This is a real honor for me. So I am the director of Uni-Italia Center in India. For those who have never heard about it, Uni-Italia is the official Italian agency dedicated to the promotion of the Italian higher education system. So basically what we do is we represent worldwide all the Italian higher education institutes, and we also give assistance to international students willing to pursue their studies in Italy, especially for what concerns bureaucratic paperwork in order to obtain a study visa in Italy, okay? So as you know, today we will focus our attention on IED. IED stands for European Institute of Design. In Italian, we say Instituto Europeo di Design. It was founded in 1966 in Milan, which is not only the capital of Lombardy region, but it is also considered the world capital for fashion and design. Rajendra, you have spent your studies in Milan, so I'm sure that you have a beautiful memory of the city. So now IED, I'm sure Sugat will give you a more detailed explanation about IED, but what I can tell you is that now IED has 7 campuses across Italy in beautiful cities such as Rome, Milan, of course, Turin, Venice, and Florence. Before giving the word to Sugat, I would also like to share a very brief presentation, if I may, on the Italian higher education system, of course, but also on what Italy has to offer as a study destination country. So I will share, it's very brief, just a 5 minutes presentation. Okay. Let me know if you can see my screen. Can you see it?
Yeah, Federica.
Okay. So why is Italy a great investment option for your future? Why should you choose Italy as a study destination country? So I don't know how many of you know that Italy is, first of all, a G7 country and a G20 country. This means that Italy is considered one of the largest economies in the world. From an economical point of view, you also have to consider Italy is the second largest manufacturing country in Europe. It is also the second largest pharmaceutical country for numbers of reaction agents, the second largest country in the world for energy efficiency, and it is also home to the largest number of UNESCO cultural sites in the world. Within Italian borders, we have 55 UNESCO cultural sites, and this will give you an idea of also of the beautiful environment where you will spend your studies if you decide to choose Italy. Now, none of these things that I have just mentioned happen by chance. Italy is a G7 country, one of the largest economies in the world, because we have professionals that have been trained in our universities, which are known all over the world for their capacity of putting together tradition and innovation. Now, we have around 100 public and private higher education institutes. I know that it's not a very huge number compared to Indian standards, but Italy is a very small country. Now, these 100 universities are placed in the top global ranking for subjects. And if the question is, will you have to study in Italian if you decide to go to study in Italy? The answer is no, because Italian universities have more than 400 study programs which are entirely taught in English, okay? Now, the high standards of Italian education make of Italy one of the top 10 countries in the world for scientific publications, and also the 10th destination in the global flow of higher education students. Okay, here I will just explain you briefly how the Italian higher education system works. So in order to have access to an Italian university, you must be in possession of a high school diploma. And the minimum duration of your previous studies must be of 12 years. Now, the Italian higher education system is divided into 3 cycles. The first cycle is the bachelor degree. In Italian, we call it laurea triennale, and the duration is of 3 years. Once completed your bachelor degree, you will then have access to master degree, which in Italian is laurea magistrale. Duration is of 2 years. We also have single cycle master degree programs. For example, medicine and surgery is a single cycle master degree program, and the duration is from 5 to 6 years. Once you have completed your master degree studies, then you will have access to a PhD or specializing studies. Now, the interesting part is that we also offer specializing master courses. We have first level specializing master courses and second level specializing master course. The difference depends on the previous degree that you have. So if you have a bachelor degree, then you will have access to a first level specializing master course. Otherwise, if you're in possession of a master degree, you will have access to a second level specializing master course. Now, what's a specializing master course? You will see that IED has a large offer of the specializing masters. Now, a specializing master is a professional PG diploma. This means that it will focus on specific topics and will provide you practical skills, okay, which are required for certain professional sectors. So this is very important if it's more a job-oriented course, okay? Now, another popular topic, students always ask me, what about the employability rate? So employability rate, there is no unique answer to this topic. It basically depends on you. So on your academic achievements, of course, but also in your capacity in getting involved, in questioning yourself. But what I can tell you for sure is that during your academic path, you will have the opportunity to attend internships, okay? That will help you, as I wrote here, that will help you put in practice the know-how acquired at a theoretical level during the program of studies. Another very important thing is that the Italian government allows you, with a study resident permit, to work 20 hours per week. Now, why should you work 20 hours per week while studying? Because not only for pocket money, but also because you will attend part-time jobs that will definitely give an added value to your CV. And what happens next? So let's say you graduate in Italy, you have your degree in hands. What happens? Okay, so first of all, another important thing that you have to keep in mind is that the Italian government allows you to stay 1 extra year in Italy, okay? So your resident permit will be renewed of extra 12 months, during which you will have the opportunity to seek for a job. And who will help you? Well, the university you have where you have graduated will assist you and help orient yourself towards an informed future professional choice. You will see with IED, they have very important ties up with companies, leading Italian companies in Italy. So they will definitely assist you during this process. Now, what if you decide to come back in India? Because maybe some of you, after graduating, decide, no, I want to go back in my home country. Well, you have to know that in India, we have more than 600 Italian companies, okay? And I'm speaking about global top players. Here I've mentioned some of them. We have Jeep, Ferrero, Bauli, Lavazza. So I'm sure you have already heard about these companies. And what do they do in India? Well, they manufacture products. As I said at the beginning of this presentation, Italy is the second largest manufacturing country in Europe. So this will make you understand also about the economical, entrepreneurial relationships that Italy has with foreign countries, included India. Why am I saying all this? Because if you decide to come back in India, you may count on the fact that these global top players, these companies, are seeking for Indian students that have been trained according to Italian methods. Now, this is regarding how do you apply. So if you have already chosen the course of studies, then you will just have to verify the entry requirements and deadlines directly on the university website. Otherwise, you will have to check on the Italian Ministry of Education website, which is called universitaly.it. Here you will have all the English taught courses available in Italy. Once you have chosen your course, once you have verified the entry requirements and deadlines in order to be admitted, you may apply to the chosen course on the university website. Then you will have to wait for the acceptance letter, apply for pre-enrollment again on the Uni-Italia website, print your pre-enrollment summary, and collect your documents for your study visa application. Now, I know I've given you a lot of information, but what you have to keep in mind is that Uni-Italia, as I told you at the beginning of this presentation, has launched these activities in India in 2017. So if you need assistance during your admission to an Italian university or in collecting all the documents required for your study visa application, you may count on the fact that we are here in India. So these are all the assistance, all the services that we offer to students. See, university admission, documents preparation for study visa. Where are we? So our headquarters is located inside the Italian Ministry of Foreign Affairs, this big building that you see on the top right corner. But we have also offices in Mumbai, for the moment, at the Consulate General of Italy and at VFS Global Visa Centers. But you don't have to worry, because we are helping and assisting all the students online. So the only thing that you will have to do if you want to keep updated about all the opportunities available in Italy, you just have to follow us. We use a lot Instagram and Facebook, because we know that students are likely to follow these channels a lot. So if you need any assistance or further information, you may just contact us, and we will be more than happy to help you. Now, I am done with my presentation. And now I will be very, very happy to give the word to Shugat. That will, of course, start by presenting IED to all of you, one of the most prestigious design schools in all the world. And then he will conduct a workshop on design thinking and innovation, which, as I said, it will really give you a taste of what studying an IED actually means. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Federica and Mr. Rajendra, for giving IED this opportunity to interact with your students. Of course, it's a real privilege to work with Federica together, and She had been of a great help, as always, from time and again with Uni-Italia and my students, of course, when they go to Italy. So I will not, have some small talks. I will directly get into the presentation. Okay, so let's start. Just tell me when you see my screen. Can you see the screen?
Yes, yes.
Okay, fair enough. So I welcome you all to the Instituto Europeo di Design, or as we call in Italian, IED. So IED, okay, before telling about IED, let me just make you understand why Italy is so important for design studies. Because Italy, as a preferred destination, stands second in the world when it comes to design studies. Design, I would not give a overall design area. It will be design, fashion, visual communication, arts, restoration, these all subjects. And Italy is very popular when considered as a destination. What about IED? IED has campuses, as Federica said, in these cities: Milan, Turin, Venice, Rome, Cagliari, Florence, and one more in Como, which is missing over here. But we also have a campus in Como with Accademia Arti di Belle. So why these campuses? Now, the question generally I'm asked quite a number of times by the students, why you chose these cities out of so many cities in Italy. We believe in a concept called genius loci, which is using the geniusness of that place to create something which is for future. So like Turin is a manufacturing hub for transportation or for automobile. So we have the most famous flagship program of transportation design based out in Turin. And this campus is so well known so that we create a concept car every year in the master course and present it to the Geneva Motor Show. And we are the only school on earth to do that, side by side of BMW, Maserati, Pininfarina, Lamborghini. So that's the speciality of that place. When it comes to Milan, as Federica had mentioned, that it's a place for fashion, it's a place for media, it's a place for entertainment. So we have courses which are focused on media design, sound design, animation design in Milan, fashion design, of course. When it comes to Rome, it's very, very well known for its heritage, for its cinema. So you do the same fashion design in Milan and you do the same fashion design in Rome, but with very different flavors. In Rome, it's more oriented towards theater, cinema. Okay. Whereas in Milan, it's more about fashion. It's more about trends. It's more about, media. When you go shift your focus of fashion design to Turin, it's more about accessories for automobile. So you can understand what culture I'm talking about here. What are our areas which we cater to for the students? First and foremost, art and restoration. So curatorial practice, museum design, all these kind of courses, fine arts, arts management comes under this. When it comes to fashion, you name it, we have the courses. It's fashion design, fashion marketing, fashion communication, fashion styling, fashion business management, you name it, we have it. When it comes to design, uniqueness is something which I can define in design. So there is a course called Master of Design Innovation Strategy and Product, which is like, if you go on Google, you cannot find that course anywhere else in the world. And that's what we have at IED. We have food design. We have a course in international entertainment, wine and tourism. Which these courses are very unique. Apart from the traditional courses of sound design, animation, graphics, transportation, jewelry design, product design, then comes communication and management. So these are basically visual courses which are into communication design. Then we have sound design. Then we have a course in lighting design. So and then the final area is visual arts and communication. So there are some courses which are into specific photography. Okay, there is a course in professional photography, there is a course in portrait photography, there is a course in commercial photography. So you can once you go to the website, you can find the details. What is the difference, specific difference between all these courses? So that's what I'm talking about. We specialize in areas which you might find very, very unique. Who we are, now that's a very big question. I cannot answer in four lines, but we are a legacy. I generally put in these words. We started in 1966 and we still continue in our DNA as 100% Italian. So we are not by any American investment company. We are not governed by any investor from France. We are 100% Italian, whatever you say it, but we are an education provider which believes in made in Italy and being in Italy. So of course, our president, he started in 1966. We had been operating in 5 different areas, and we are doing, I would never call IED as a institute or as a university. I generally call IED as a platform which connects students with companies. What we offer at IED. Now, don't go by the crazy look of this student who is jumping. He's a sound designing student. So what you can become crazy like this when you go to IED, just to add some humor to it. So what we focus in a student when they come to IED for studies, we focus into creating a design knowledge and mindset of that student. Design is never a theory, or a creative course is never a theory. It's more of hands-on. So what is our mission? Our mission is to create that perception in you. And of course, I will tell you in the workshop, what is that? What is perception? What is design thinking? How do we do it? Now, this is a big question because there is a lot of buzzword in the world about hands-on learning. We do practical kind of courses. For us, what we believe is generally focused in this, that we have 35% of theory, nearly 50% of hands-on learning, and 15% of labs. So this is the break even of the course structure which we have. As per our president, what he used to believe, knowing how to make things is not only important, but what is more important is knowing how to learn it. That is hands-on. That is something which makes you ready for a job market. And to be very honest, why are we studying? The basic purpose is to add value to the society and to do something which is unique. And that's what we offer, the project culture. What we preach learning by doing. You can see some photographs which are there. There is a studio wherein there is a photographer who is taking snapshots of a model. So there are a lot of collaboration things happen in this picture. So there is a photography student who is taking pictures. There's a fashion model who is wearing the you can say the garments which are prepared by our fashion design students. There is a stylist who has gone ahead and created or made this model stand over there like this. There is a graphics designer behind who is doing some work on her system. There is also a lighting design student who is keeping intact the lighting which should be there for the proper photograph to come out. On the right hand side, you have a sound designer who's mixing and arranging a music. On the left hand side, there is not only a restoration lady, there is a person who is from media design or graphics design. There is a person from video design who is going ahead and shooting the video. So you can understand that participation and collaboration is what we believe, and this happens real time for our students. So there is a company who comes in and collaborates with the student. The students collaborate with each other in different departments, and that's what we preach. Okay, now this is a very important slide. Of course, I didn't put a lot of explanation in the slides because it's self-explanatory. At the left-hand side, as I was telling you, that we create a concept car every year. So this year's car is called Suzuki Mizano, which we have created with Suzuki. So our students, the whole batch of master students goes to the Suzuki factory, they create this car, and here it is in front of you. We had presented in the month of February this car at the Geneva Motor Show. So you can understand how important it is for our students, because we are providing them a global deck to showcase their talents. In between, the picture is from Lego. Our students have created this. And on the right-hand side, again, a collaborative 3D picture with Amazon. This is something which a product design prototype which was created by our students. Okay, now Federica was talking about collaboration. So let me tell you very honestly, we have 1,000 collaborations every year. We collaborate with 1,000 companies every year. These are some of them. I cannot, my laptop is very small screen to place 1,000 companies in it. So I am pretty sure that you know all these companies. Now, the question in your mind would be, okay, does ID collaborate with these guys only for jobs? No. The answer is emphatic no. It is not only about jobs, it's about projects which they create together. It's about special projects which we create for the companies. And third, it's about teaching. So these professors, or whatever you call it, Apple designer will come to your campus, will teach you on a daily basis your module. So what is that I'm trying to imply over there? Why we do this? We do this to give you a platform every day, every second in that class to showcase your talents and tell people, the designers, that we are a designer. Okay, so I believe everybody knows these companies. If it had been a physical class, I would have asked you, raise questions. Well, do you know this company? Do you know? But unfortunately, in a virtual world, it's very difficult. So you can see the companies. I am pretty sure you know them very well. So finally, you can visit us for a detailed, you can say, discussion on the course. You can understand the faculty members. You can understand the course structure. You can understand our various scholarships, financial aids, everything at www.ied.edu, or you can also connect with us for basically your course discussions or your future higher education needs. Okay, so here we are now with the workshop, as I was telling you. So are we ready?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Students, please be attentive.
Okay, so for the students, since this is a direct interaction, because I am a very informal designer. I am from the media design and advertising field. So I believe when I talk with the students, I become a bit casual, and I am you. I am a student like you. So every student is a learning for me. So all the students who are there, not only being attentive, I think what is more needed from you right now is to reflect, because you are creative people. Creative people don't come in only, gentleman suits. They come in clay. So in the morning, if you get into a design studio, evening you come out, your hands are full of clay or wood or any other material. So please be that, please focus, please interact. That is what is my request. So let's start. Design thinking and innovation. This is a big subject, in India, design thinking, or all over the world. What is design thinking all about? Or rather, let's put a first question. What is creativity, you think? Creativity is something, okay, if I ask a student generally in a class, what is creativity? They say, thinking out of the box. Right answer. Thinking or going extra mile. Right answer. Thinking about something which others can. That's what generally Einstein or somebody would have said. See what the others can't see. or do what others can't even dream of. That is creativity. Here, I would like a participation from a student. What do you think is creativity? You can, whosoever wants to speak, just unmute your mic and speak.
Yeah, Sakshi, can you please answer?
Anybody?
Sakshi theory.
Okay. First thing, you all are creative people. You all are designers. You all are interior designers, architecture students. First mantra, as I call it. Don't feel
So,
shy.
I'm sorry to interrupt, sir, but may I answer?
Yeah,
But
please. Go ahead.
according to me, what I think creativity is your set of imagination, which you portray in a different way. So every person is creative, but I think everyone has their different way of presenting things, way of perspective. What I think is
Good. Good. So what's your name? You're Sakshi, right?
Shikha, sir.
Shikha. Shikha, that's a wonderful answer. Now with this wonderful answer, you have a keyword with you. Tell me that keyword. You just mentioned it in the last line.
Was it a perspective?
Yes. Perspective. That's a keyword. So always when you are doing something, when you are creating something, always remember, you should remember the keywords. Okay.
Yes.
Perspective. One keyword. Okay. Let's go forward. Perception is my keyword. Okay. Don't you think that this is very humorous? People think on the left hand side what general public would think. What we do, they think we are a painter. Okay. Or we have so many brushes, we do this and that. What we actually do is on the right hand side. We do a lot of research. We do a lot of innovation, and finally we come up with the product. But unfortunately, we don't speak about it. So that's why people think, you know, there is a I mean, I'm telling you from a personal perspective. When I approached my parents for the masters in media design, I was told, there's a Hindi sentence. I will diversify from here. Jhola leke painting karoge.
It's too common, sir, for Indian families.
Right. See, so that is what it is. Unfortunately, it is not true about us. We don't do that. Of course, maybe at times when we are at our passionate time, we can make some, mood boards and portraits, but not every time we do that. Okay. So this is the perception. So for me, it's perception. For you, it's perspective. Okay. Now, next question. Do you think these things are creative? Of late, the left picture, the picture which is down, the left one, that has been very famous in these recent times. Can you tell me from which company this is? Design. The aeroplane bag.
No, sir, I'm very sorry. I could not.
Okay. Anybody else? No.
What's it?
The company which created this design, aeroplane bag.
Louis Vuitton.
Absolutely right. See, we have designers here who follow it. Okay. On the right hand side, there is of course it is written over there, but in the picture itself. But do you know which car is this? It came out most probably in the final quarter of 19, if I'm not wrong. Anybody who can?
Tesla? Tesla?
No, it's not Tesla.
Oh, yeah.
It's written over there. It's Pininfarina Battista. And on top, there is, this is a design, this is an interior space. So all the interior designers, this is a interior space created by a very famous person. No idea?
No, sir.
It's Armani Cafe. created by Giorgio Armani. It's actually a living space, living room, which has been created by Giorgio Armani. But we know Giorgio Armani as a fashion designer, but he does this as well. Okay, so the left-hand side, the first picture of the girl in a fashion show. Okay, yes, absolutely right. Okay, so let me ask you, do you think these are creative? These are something which is sought by people. They love it. Do you think that? Okay, now the question. After you say that those were creative, this question comes directly to you all when you stand in front of a mirror. Are you really creative? What do you think? The majority of the class. Are you really creative? Have you asked this question to yourself ever? I think Shikha was answering something. So Shikha?
I think I am, sir.
Very good. So this is why I asked this question. You know, this is the stepping stone. That's the first thing which you should think about yourself. You are in a creative field because you think you are creative, and that's the biggest strength of a designer. And that's what we do when we have the selection process. We want people who are passionate. We take only 20 students in a batch of a course from the whole world once in a year. All of them are passionate, motivated, and dedicated professionals. That's what we do. Okay. Now, a big question. What is design thinking? There is a lot of theories behind design thinking. What do you think is design thinking all about? Anybody who wants to give some of his perceptions about design thinking?
Something which relates to the end user directly.
Okay, that's one of the perspectives. Yes.
I'll say it's a practicality.
Okay, that is also right. Anybody else wants to try?
I think I will add another thing, aesthetic.
Absolutely correct.
A
So,
solution-based approach to many problems.
right, absolutely correct. Okay, now you see all of you all said something or the other. All of the answers are correct. And why do you think so it is correct? Because design thinking is basically a perceptive thing. It has some parts of aesthetics, some parts of solution building, some parts of research, some parts of creation, some parts of innovation, and above all, to do all these things, you should have motivation. So this is overall design thinking. It's not like Pythagoras theorem, which is only one unique. No, design thinking is not that. Because generally what happens in our thinking process is we are not wrong again. Okay, let me tell you that. We are very analytical. Indians are always called very analytical people. We think scientifically. Design thinking is not a scientific approach, whereas people do say that design is a science in India. It's not arts. I do not agree completely with them, but yes, some aspects of science is there, because if you want to create a car, you should also have a knowledge of aerodynamics. So that's what is the thing. This is, of course, tried, tested. There's a lot of head banging done. This is the design thinking process. Generally, we say it, whether it's Stanford, whether it's MIT, whether it's NID in India, whether it's NIFT in India, whether it's whether it's Sushant. Anybody would say this is the design thinking process. Yes, of course, this is the design thinking process. So we are trying to go ahead and have perception in 4 steps. understand the problem, develop possible solutions, prototype, test, refine, and then implement. So do you think, let's break this into steps for you. This is the approach, and believe me, it has been 7-8 years now when I had been teaching design thinking to students. So design thinking, according to me, can be broken down into these 7 basic steps. Okay, first thing, concept. We say a big word, concept. I call it a starting point. I call it a motivation. It's the same thing. There's no difference in it. Then comes your research work, brainstorming, or finally the third thing is mood board creation. You saw those, post-its on the wall. It's from inspiration to the realistic approach. I call it that way because it's what is possible, what is there, and what you can do extra in it. That is, again, I would not call it genuinity in design. I would call it a modification. But if you are taking a design inspiration and you are providing some feasibility to it and coming out with a product, that's what it is. Then comes color, shape, fabric, materials. So it is now, see, from an ideation, you're actually getting into touch and feel of subjects. Then comes this is where, we miss a point. I have seen a lot of fashion designers, for example, a lot of designers, let's not specialize them, let's generalize them, designers, they miss this part, target audience and clientele observation. The word would have been observation better, clientele observation. This needs to be done even before you start researching, because with that only you can reach a success. And finally, the implementation part, the product realization part, the manufacturing part, whatever you call it. With this, there is an add-on nowadays, because in Hindi we call it jo dikhta hai wahi bikta hai. So if you don't do branding, if you don't communicate your brand, if you don't communicate your ideas, if you don't communicate your product, it's not going to be sold. And ultimately, if there is a concept and it has been realized to a product, if it is not sold, what is the meaning of that concept? You're not building concepts every day to send it to museums, right? You're trying to have a viable, feasible solution. As somebody told me just now that, it should be more feasible. Yes, of course, according to the market. That's what is very important. Now, after this, we will do an exercise, a very small exercise, and I would like all the students to participate in it and show me what they have done. My question to you all is, what do you make out of this? Guys?
Peace.
Yes. Okay. So if it is peace, can you make something out of peace?
Maybe we can use this image to depict any of the emotions in design, because white denote peace.
Okay. So the next, it's 11:52 right now. The word, this is called ideation. Right now you have a concept called peace. I can develop something from a word. I can develop something from an image. I can develop something from an expression. That's what a designer is all about. So your client has come to you with a picture. I have this picture in front of me. Design something. This is your client. So peace is the right word, buzzword, which you have actually hit the bullseye. So I would say start with that word. You get maximum 10 minutes to 15 minutes to show me something out of that. It can be anything, guys. Again, it can be a product, it can be an interior space, it can be a fashion garment, it can be a concept all about a service. It can be a service. So show me something in the next 10 to 12 minutes using those 7 steps which you had. These one. You understand? Come on, anybody. I didn't make you sleep. Come on. I'm not going to accept that. I was pretty active. Okay, let me get, do you want me to keep the presentation or do you want me to get out of the presentation? You can start doing it so that, you know, somebody can show me something. That will be a good exposure as well. So I am back here. Yes, so all the students, please start. I want to see the creativity. In the meantime, you know, this is generally, you know, I walk around the whole classroom looking into the kind of sketches they do, and the students, the way they are ideating the process. So here we cannot see that, but I think it would have been a good exposure. But unfortunately, this is an electronic world.
Students, if you can, those who are please, if you can switch on your camera and maybe show your progress in between, so that sir will get to know that what all you are thinking, and you will also get put credit on that. If you
Use
can,
all your, you know, all your might of creativity, which you say that, you know, I didn't say that you're creative. You said that we are creative. So it is a challenge. Show me that creativity. And don't feel shy. I'm not going to eat you up. I'm not a monster. I'm a good guy. Believe me.
Sir, can I just interfere here if with your permission, sir?
No, please, please. Yeah. Of course.
Actually, you know, it has been almost a year when we have switched to online mode.
Mm-hmm.
And trust me, sir, it is much more difficult than physical classes.
Actually.
And especially in the classes of design and architecture, where, you know, this creativity is involved. Sometimes genuine reasons are there, sometimes non-genuine reasons are there of skipping the students, you know, encouraging them to switch on the audio, do that, scan this and all. So I think the whole world is learning. Let me tell you, the whole world is learning how to deal with it. So but I would really compliment about the process what you have done in this last half an hour or so. At least you provoked. I mean, me and Sheena, we are taking classes in many time, and trust me, sir, we were not able to provoke them. I mean, the way you provoked till now, sir. But we have to live with it. We understand it that a student may not be able to switch on the video. I mean, we have seen the cases where switch on the video and we keep on calling them. They don't respond. We disconnect, but still they are connected. I think me and Sheena, we have seen many times this case. that are the, because they switch on and they left somewhere else. So,
yeah.
But
Absolutely.
so I believe, Sheena, if you think we can conclude it, sir.
No, I would see. I'll tell you one thing. See, I understand the pain of the students, right? All the whatever I see a lot of people, what happens, because see, I'll tell you the easy exit in this kind of world, electronic world. You cannot stop them from leaving, right? I can see a lot. The moment I put in an exercise, everybody started leaving. Oh God, फिर से एक और नहीं. वैसे ही इतने असाइनमेंट का प्रॉब्लम है सर पे, फिर से एक और नहीं. So in a physical class, this wouldn't have been possible. कोई भागता तो I would, if somebody would have started running, I would have like caught him like this. Where the hell are you going? Come back, sit. Though it didn't happen, but that is how it is. The thing is, here, all the students who are right now present, I understand your pain, my dear friend. I am also a student. Few days past, I just completed my Wharton course, leadership and management certification and global business. So I was a student 5 days before. So I can understand that electronically it's very difficult to learn and everything, but you have to remember one thing. Whenever you forget this thing, please make yourself reminded in front of a mirror. You are a designer. You are a creative person. If in these challenging times, you don't consider it an opportunity, you are just an engineer or a doctor, nothing else. Though doctors are also designers, to be very honest. So please always challenge yourself. If you want to become a real designer, Hafiz Contractor, as Sir said, or somebody like the most Al-Hadi, like a famous architect, you have to challenge yourself every day. If you can't, competition is over that day. Stand in front of a mirror, say, I lost in the competition. Thank you very much. Goodbye. And my students generally at times tell me, when I have, we are not from designing. Okay, you are from architecture. But my dear friend, creativity doesn't see fields. Do you think, okay, good question, good statement from Chandni, right? Chandni, do you think a doctor is a designer?
No, sir, they are not.
They are not. Very good. But have you heard about an orthodontist? Have you heard about an orthodontist? Rajendra sir, have you heard about an orthodontist?
Yes, of course. Yeah, because my wife is a doctor, so I know
Wow.
technical terms.
Lovely. So, Chandni, an orthodontist creates smiles. Are you aware of that? Go to Google. अभी तो सब चीज में Google माता की जय हो जाती है. तो go to google.com. Type in orthodontist. An orthodontist is a doctor, but she is a designer. Whatever your teeth may be, she will give you a very beautiful smile.
Sir, I will also attempt her statement. Chandni, do you know? Can you consider your politician as a designer? No.
That is a very good question.
Okay. I am telling you, Chandni, my sister, she is also graduate from Milan. She is from the same university where I graduated. She studied from Politecnico di Milano, and the course of her was Master Plan in Urban Planning and Policy Design. So she is a designer of policy. So who designed policy for us? Our leader. So she, I mean, her scope is that working with the politicians, helping them to design the policies.
Yes, sir.
I agree.
And a lady in the kitchen, or one halwai for Miss Federica. How do I translate halwai in?
Sweet shop.
Yeah,
Sweet shop
the sweet maker. The
Yeah.
sweet maker. Okay. So the halwai, the way he designed jalebi and all, don't you consider the halwai is a designer? I believe he's a wonderful designer. The halwai or the lady who designed paratha in the kitchen and all. They all are
Rajendra sir, I will just sorry for interrupting you.
right, sir.
All the students over here,
Hmm.
whom you have seen the first designer in your life, the first designer in your life. I'm going to tell you a very, very interesting thing.
My mother, sir.
Absolutely. That's a wonderful answer. Your mom in the kitchen. She is the best possible designer. You know why I say this? Because every morning when you get up, she comes with 10 different options. Beta, you want to have this for breakfast, this for breakfast, this for breakfast. And she goes and designs it. If you don't like those traditional things, she will create something innovative out of those traditional things. That's a designer. So for a designer, you don't need a B-Des or M-Des. That's the problem here we have in our mindset. That's why we are doing so much of design thinking and product innovation, workshops. Open up your mind. Design is everywhere, ma'am. Just besides you also a design. Okay, now have you closely watched, let's shift our focus to animals. We are human beings, right? We are supposed to be very good designers. We are very creative. A dog is fed food. Try to wrap the food, and then give it to the dog. You will see how skillfully the dog will open up the stuff and then eat the food. Don't you think it's a challenging spot, and it's design, it's creativity? Yes, of course it is. Design is not about degrees. Design is here in your mind, perception. That's what is the keyword I started with. You have to think about it. For Shikha, it is perspective. That is what is design. That is what is creativity. Let's not call design, because then you will get confused. Oh, I'm not from BDES. I'm not from MDES. I'm BR, B architecture. You're creative, right? You're going to create new buildings. Is it not design? Is it not creativity? You're going to create the subject you are doing. If you'll ask me what is design in it, it's called spatial design. That's how it is. So when I studied, or when Rajendra sir must have studied, we were never told, okay, Anita has raised her hand. Is it?
As of now, so someone Geeta has raised the hand. Geeta
Yeah,
Amrut.
sir, I did it. Oh, Mayank, very good. Mayank, I would, if you don't feel shy, Mayank, I would like you to show us what you did. It's okay, Mayank. We are not going to beat you for this. You know who is the best person in the world? Is the guy who takes initiative. You're the one.
Sir, I did it, and I show you what I did actually.
Okay, great. Mm. Wow, nice.
So I created this crown for peace. Actually, it was
Wow.
any kind of showcase or for anything else.
Mm-hmm. Nice, nice. So, okay. Now, how did you approach this? Fine.
I take two elements from there. There is in the wing represent the freedom of spaces and freedom of thoughts and freedom of anything else which can be represented by the wings. And the circle represent the world. जिससे कि and this circle shows are the inner consciousness about the freedom. And so I created with the circle, and the elements is going to the top is represent the highness, something imperial in your field. So that's the crown which I created with these three elements.
Wow, nice, Mayank, and wonderful initiative. Okay, so this is what I'm saying. See, so you
So,
are an initiator, Shikha. Yes.
sorry to interrupt. I actually made something similar, but I just made it with my hand on a rough paper. If you want to know it.
Yes, yes, of course. Why not? Okay, before you all get confused, there is nothing in the world called bad design. You must have heard this word all the time in India. There's nothing, as we believe in Europe, there's nothing called, or as designers, as a community, there's nothing bad design. Either there is good design or design. There's nothing called as bad design.
And this is what I made, sir. Oh,
Okay. I
something.
think, yeah. Shikha, I think, okay, I can see it though, but it's since it's, can you all see it on the screen? Mayank, can you stop presenting? Yeah, Shikha, now present it on the screen. Click on present now.
Sir, actually, I have just on.
Oh, okay, okay. I understand. I understand. You are showing from camera in front of the camera. Okay, let me see. Okay, can you explain this, please?
Yes, sir, it is somewhat what Mayank has presented right now. I just
Uh-huh.
created the head of the bird, where I
Uh,
the center part where I have just made a point. There will be a
mm,
stat that symbolizes peace, as if for now I just wrote there a statue of shaking hands, two people shaking hands. And then
okay, okay,
these are the wings, where the building blocks will be created on the wings, which will
okay,
show the freedom of different
okay.
individuals that binded together for peace.
Hmm. Wow.
So the whole there is a bird, but every specific part has their own identity.
Okay, so what you are doing is also not only depicting peace, depicting harmony, you are also saying that there is no bindness to it. The
Yes,
virtue is unbind yourself, right?
yes, sir, totally.
Very good. Amazing, amazing. Congratulations, Shikha. It's amazing. Mayank and Shikha, you both, I mean, amazing. Thank you
Thank you,
so much for those creative ideas, both of you. It,
thank you.
guys, it takes a lot, to do this in front of, right now we have an audience of 40 people here. It takes a lot of efforts to present like this, and of course all those people who are feeling shy or who don't want to present, fair enough, I understand. They I might be speaking a lot, and I had been like this from my student days. So unfortunately, but there were some students who didn't used to speak much, but they are now successful people. So you are also that. You can show it to Rajendra sir maybe afterwards when you talk with him or something like that. But I think what I tried to do here is to actually hammer your minds that please start thinking about creativity in a very open environment. Open your brains up. There is a lot of creativity around. You have to just grab it. Your mind, you can't even imagine where your mind can go. It has no limits. And that is why you have chosen to become a creative person. I'll share a very short, I mean, nearly a minute or two story. I had one student, in IED. So when I met him in India, he was very shy kind of person. So I told him, you need to submit a portfolio and everything for master courses. So he said, yes, sir, that's fine. I will do it. So I told him, can you send it across to me? So 3-4 weeks, he hesitated, weeks, not days. And he started calling me up and saying, sir, I have something, but I don't know whether because you are from the design field and you might start laughing. So I said, oh, really? I don't even laugh at a standard 2 painting. Unable to, okay. Unable to send, can't unlock the audio. Have done a sketch though. Okay. Anita, you want to show that? Uh, but check if you can. Sheena, can you check with her audio if, I mean, ask her with, because
Yes.
she's interested in.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
can
please.
add it here if it is possible. Let me see. I don't think so. You can upload
Anita,
it
what
here.
you can do that, you can send a sketch to Sheena or to me on my WhatsApp, we will be able to show it. Sheena, you can type your mobile number in the chat box.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yes, sir.
Okay. So in the meantime, then slowly the students started sending me some sketches. So these were some rough sketches, and then there is a big time setback in the minds of Indian students. If I don't know how to sketch, I cannot be a creative person. It's not true. Sketching is just a tool, so you can be a very good creative person. Nowadays, AutoCAD is there to help you out. So then with these sketches, he started growing, and then, yeah, that's okay, Anita, it's fine. Everybody is a student, including myself. So then finally he came up with this concept of a Maserati, Lamborghini Aventador with a concept of Agni. So he submitted that project, he got selected in IED, and the next future, you would not believe that after 2 years, when he presented the car, he was invited for an interview by Ferrari. There was a 5-panel people who, his name is Mudit Gupta from Delhi. So Mudit attended the interview. After 1.5 hours, they offered him the job of a junior designer. Okay. Now, what would you expect from a guy who has been offered a junior designer job, who was very conservative? What he would reply? Anybody? Sheena, just give me your opinion. What he would reply to Ferrari?
Yes, sir.
What he would reply to Ferrari? Yes. Okay. Ashish says yes. Okay. I will shock you all now. He rejected the offer on the spot. He rejected the offer. That guy, and on top of this daring, he calls me up in the evening and says that this happened with me. I said, have you gone? I mean, in Hindi, Federica, I will use Hindi now. Kal raat ko kya khaya tha, bhai? Which made you say no to a Ferrari guy? So he said, sir, I asked him, what was the reason? What was the reason to say no? He told the panel, you were rude to me. I was like, oh God, this is strange. A guy who didn't even took an initiative to show me sketches, he's saying no to Ferrari, and because they were rude to him. So he told me that if they are rude to me in an interview, what will happen when I become an employee? I was like, okay, fair enough. And finally, I told him, my dear friend, if you don't get a job after this, don't come crying to me and say you placed me in IED and I am not getting any job. So I said, I am not going to even, like the way we do with raw agents in India, I will not recognize you, my student. I will say, no, I don't know this guy at all. So he said, okay, sir, no problem. 1.5 weeks passed, he calls me up and he says, sir, I got a job at Pininfarina, double the contract, double the package. Now what will you say? I was like, wow. So what I'm trying to imply over here, that student was so confident about his skill set that he said no to the best automobile company in the world, Ferrari. So you all, what does this story imply? You all who are sitting in this class, virtual class, you can do great things only when you ask that question from my slide. Are we really creative? Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sugat. It was such a wonderful morning with you. I believe that Mayank has something to say before I close. Mayank, Sagar, you raise your hand. Do you have?
Oh yeah,
Mayank,
please.
Yes,
you raise your hand. So Mayank is a good friend. So
Thank you, sir, for giving me the opportunity. But actually, we are somewhere afraid of keep designing and inventing new things in our daily life. Sometimes we try to copy paste some more ideas from somewhere else, and we keep ourselves in a down path. So the designs cannot be much from real ideas actually. From students to right now, being a professional in the design field, I'm somewhere also stuck due to all these things. And I say, keep innovating that ideas and have some great mindset skills.
Okay.
Sir, Sugas sir, I mean, I'll just comment on Mayank. Mayank is a very old friend of mine. I believe he was also the faculty with the very, very renowned Institute of India, APJ school. Right now, it's a very established practice. So, Mayank, I mean, thank you so much for your comment. I can see very well in your display image. This is the photograph of the lecture scene when I also came and gave lecture in university. I believe he's the K. Jasin, if I'm not wrong, and I am sitting next to him. Mayank, I believe that's a... So, Mayank, I absolutely understand your point and absolutely take very positively about your comment on design. But I have to say one thing. I spent some good time in Milan and across the world, I mean, across the Italy, from Milan to Bari and Sardinia and all. What I have seen is that in Italy, I think design is in their air. I mean, Sir has mentioned about Como. Como is the same place where our Deepika Padukone and Ranveer Singh, they got married. Such a beautiful lake and such a lake Maggiore and all those things. It's amazing place. So there is a sense of design in the air of Italy, which I can say that. I'm not saying because I'm an architect or because I'm from the allied field of design, but I feel it. The way they talk, the gesture. I always say this gesture. I believe Federica can connect to this gesture. So yes, I mean Italy has a design. Too strange to everybody. Can anyone tell me? I mean, I am asking this question to, let's say, Sheena, common person. We all know that whenever we talk about designer, Giorgio Armani names come first, not only Italian, but across the world. Sheena, this question is for you, or maybe any student who can answer. Do you know what is the real educational qualification of Mr. Armani? I had an honor to meet him, by the way, and we were doing some project. We were pitching some project for Casa Armani in Noida. So, I mean, I know Mr. Armani personally, but in that case, Sheena, do you have any idea what is the educational qualification of Armani, Mr. Giorgio Armani?
So he's a fashion designer.
Yeah, of course, he's a fashion designer. But what is his educational qualification? What he studied? Don't check on Google, by the way. He's actually a doctor. He was educated doctor. Then he went to army because he served the army. And see, a doctor served in army and became the iconic personality of the word Armani. So that is the background of Armani. Sir has mentioned about Ferrari. The iconic personality of Italy, Luca Cordero de Montegemello. Also because they are into furniture. So I met them many times in Salone del Mobile with Luca Cordero, who is also very important personality in Ferrari. They have diversified in many things. Not only in automobile, of course, definitely automobile is, whenever you talk about Ferrari, automobile is the one, but they have Ferrari accessories, they have Abu Dhabi, you have a Ferrari center and all those things. So that kind of a diversification in design, and this is only and only possible in Italy. Because In Italy, design is in the air. So that is my key word. Design is in the air in Italy. With this note, I would like to conclude. But if Sheena has raised some point, and then Mr. Sugat, and then I will request to Ms. Federica to closing the point. Sheena, before I go to Mr. Sugat for his closing, please.
Sir, Anita has sent her picture, so I
Mhm.
want to share it on her behalf.
Yeah, yeah. So, but she left, I believe. So try to be a little bit brief. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's what.
No, 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 no. We can't see. We can't see.
I'm sharing it, sir.
And
Can you see my
Baba,
screen?
Baba, I can't see. Okay, okay. Oh, oh, oh.
It's yeah. So this
But
is what she has shared. I have to check whether she is still there or not.
she just joined back. She just joined back. I
Yeah,
saw.
yeah.
Yeah. So, ma'am, can you please tell me? Okay, can you please tell us about this?
Anita, you can, if you are unable to speak, you can type in the chat box. And I'll request, we are over the time. So, Anita, any?
Okay. Till
I believe we
Anita
need
is
to wrap up.
typing.
Yeah, I will request Miss Federica to give the closing note later. After Sugat. So please, Sugat, so that
Yeah. Blue color peace yoga institute. Okay.
good.
Okay. Okay. That's a innovative thing. So you she's want to, if I understand it properly, she wants to reflect yoga and peace and bind them together so that there is a tranquility and peace. Am I right, Anita? Yes. Okay. So, of course, you, Rajendra sir, used, Armani and all that stuff. I'll give you a very small example. I have been to Italy so many times, and apart from Venice, which I regret because of this lockdown, I was never able to visit Venice, but I will certainly do that. Apart from that, I have visited a lot of places in Italy. And since I was very frequent, so all these small cafes, they know me very well in Milan or in Florence. So whenever I go, they treat me with a nice cappuccino. Okay. €1, my dear friend, €1 cappuccino. Mayank, you will understand the feasibility now with this. When you had, you told me that you are held back with a lot of, surrounding issues. €1 cappuccino, the way they present it to you, I really hate it when I had to drink it. I always take a picture and then drink it. And you go to Starbucks in India, they charge you more than 350 rupees for a cappuccino. You will not get that design ever. So design is not in the air only. Design is the DNA in Italy. That's how it is. And I'm talking about a just €1, 84 rupees cappuccino. So that's how it is. So with this, I would always say to any of the students or whosoever is listening, design is an universe. You have to just figure out what is feasible. There are three things, Mayank. What is feasible? What connects that feasibility with passion for you? And finally, have a viable implementation. These are scientific words I'm telling you. Make an ecosystem of these three things. Every day you can innovate something.
Thank you, sir.
Mr.
Thank you,
Sugat,
man.
thank you so much. Before I go to Ms. Federica for closing note, I received a message by one student. He has written a message because he is unable to speak because of he's in Mumbai and there is some technical difficulty. So I'm just reading because he requested me to read the message. So the message goes like that. It's by Vishal Kumar. During our 5-year Bachelor of
Yeah.
Architecture course, we people developed a
Slide.
Vishal, I hope you don't mind silly. I think it's some typo error. So, artful mindset which supports us to scrutinize a wide aspect of field. How do we keep our pulsating desire stick to our goal during this journey. Vishal, I believe it's a very difficult, it needs a lot of time to reflect on this. Mr. Sugat has given a very good food for thought for the design, and I said design is in the air, and I have 100%. I agree with Mr. Sugat about design is in the DNA of Italy. You mentioned about cappuccino. I remember, that design which is they made on the cappuccino with the that was so beautiful. I have more than 100 collection of the photographs of the cup which I have taken. It's a trust me, and I'm very in love with those design on cappuccino top, and it's sometimes the design is so beautiful you don't feel like a drinking also.
I always hate it.
Yeah,
I always hate it.
So yes, thank you so much, sir. Now I will request Miss Federica to give the closing note before we go for end.
Yes, thank you, Rajendra. I just want to say something. Can you imagine, as an Italian, how proud I can be by hearing you, Sugat, you, Rajendra, saying these things about my country? You are the real ambassadors of Italy. With these examples about cappuccino. For me, it's normal. I always have cappuccino. Sometimes they draw this heart on cappuccino with the chocolate. You, Rajendra, saying this thing, design is in the air. It's something that makes me, so proud and so happy. So thank you again. To Sugat, I wanted to say that I didn't know what to expect from this workshop, to be honest. And what was really impressive is that it was a workshop addressed to a human being. So it wasn't addressed to students, but to human beings, to humans. So, I think you have been a great motivator also for me.
Thank you so much.
Thanks to you. And there is a sentence that really, at the beginning of the presentation, you said, at IED, you will be taught not only to make things, but to learn things. And this is amazing, because this is what we need. We need to have a way to know how to learn, okay? Yeah. So thank you very, very much for sharing with us all this. Thanks again to Rajendra, to Sheena for organizing and for hosting this session. I hope the students have appreciated. I'm sure that, I understand that these technological instruments that we have are not the best, but I'm sure that something will stay in their mind, okay, from this wonderful webinar. So again, thank you, and hope you all the best to all the students. I wish them all the best for their future. Okay.
At the just one single sentence, unfortunately, I'm so sorry, Federica and Rajendra sir. I speak a lot, unfortunately. This is a problem with me. So for the students, all of you all, you are extremely creative. Believe in yourself, and all the issues which you're facing from the surroundings will be gone. This is a challenging time for everybody in the world, but for you as a creative person, it's an opportunity. Think.
Mm-hmm. Well,
thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ms. Sugat. Thank you so much, Ms. Federica. By the way, I'm just seeing it. Here I can see this. You can see these are the magazines of Corriere della Sera. So this Corriere della Sera Abitare, so notice that Abitare and Mondadori of Casa Viva and all those things are part of my library. So Italy is in my house also. Thank you so much, ma'am. It was such a wonderful meeting you virtually. Thank you so much, Mr. Sugat. Thank you so much, all the students. And thank you so much, my all faculty, Sheena and Archit, Anju, and everyone. Thank you so much, Mayank, a great friend. Tomorrow, again, we are meeting with another theme. And so, see you all tomorrow at 3 p.m. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Sheena. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.